Hello sweet beans, my name is Soleil and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing my March bullet journal with me, and this one was a Greek gods and goddesses theme. So I actually did a spread just like this, I think 3 or maybe even 4 years ago. I think it was more than 4 years ago. And I think it was also around March. So this was, as it is every month, very much inspired by the Sticky Club subscription that I get every month. I get the vintage one. It's not sponsored, I just love them. And this month's theme was this really like Grecian gods type of theme. So I was really excited, and I remember that I did something similar a couple years ago, so this was a fun way to kind of harken back to that one and to reimagine it. And I really like how it came out. I struggled a little bit. You'll see I really went back and forth with the placement of a couple items. There were some things that I really wanted to get into this spread, and I really couldn't figure out how to place them and how to put them, but I really love how it turned out. And while I was putting these spreads together, I was watching the first, I think 2 episodes of Deli Boys, which just came out on Hulu and on Disney Plus if you've the combo. And it wasn't anything that I was expecting. I saw a brief teaser trailer for it a couple months ago, and I was absolutely enticed into watching what it was about. And all I knew was that it was about 2 brothers. Yes, I think they're brothers. They're brothers. 2 brothers, and their father just dies all of a sudden, and they have to take on his business, and they don't know a lot about his business, and there's like this whole kind of underground scheme going on that they never knew about. And it is a lot more like wild and violent than I was expecting, but it's a gosh darn good time. Highly recommend. And then I also watched the last 2 episodes of Laid, which is hilarious, and I absolutely love it. It's starring Stephanie Hsu, who was in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel and in Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it is so funny. It's 10 episodes long. It just got renewed for season 2, I think. And it's on Peacock. Yes, it's on Peacock. And it is so funny. It's basically about a young woman who realizes that all of her exes are suddenly dying, and they're dying in the order that she slept with them. So it's both her trying to figure out why this is happening, what it is, if this is a curse, if it's a weird coincidence, but then also trying to warn all these exes. It's hilarious. I love it. Highly recommend. So you'll see I am moving along with my spread. I kind of have some of the main elements figured out. You'll notice some things will start moving. You'll also notice my head poking out at the bottom of the video. That's my bad. I thought it was out of shot, but what are you gonna do about it? There's nothing to do. It's permanent now. It's in the video. So let's chat about some of the books that I read, because I had a redonkulous reading month in February. I read more books than I have in years. I read 9. One of them is missing from this spread. I didn't realize it until afterwards, but I forgot to put one of the book covers when I printed out, so I left a little space because I thought I had read 9, but we'll talk about it later. So I read Big Magic, which is a nonfiction book about kind of re-inspiring your creativity and getting back into writing, which is what I'm currently doing, so that was really helpful. And I was actually listening to it while I was putting together my February bullet journal, so I talked a little bit about that in my February bullet journal video. Then I read The Pairing, which I really did not like. I think I am going to do a dedicated video discussing this book because I was so let down by Casey McQuiston. I love Casey McQuiston's writing. They're fantastic, and this book was just terrible. Then I read Bite by Bite and World of Wonders by Amy Nezukumata-Hill. And both of these were fantastic. This is a collection of essays, and like very short, I think essays, yeah, like lyrical essays and poetry about, the first one, World of Wonders, is about flora and fauna and a little bit of food, and the second one, Bite by Bite, is exclusively about food. And the author Amy really goes into her history, her family, her experiences being an immigrant in the United States, growing up, childhood stories, and going home to visit family in India. And she just really ties all of these elements to different foods and then different plants and animals, and it's just a beautiful collection of essays. I also read a short story, The Lover by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I love Silvia Moreno Garcia, but I hated this book. Seems like there's a theme. I did not connect with this at all. This was like a 40-page short story, and it was just so weird. It was about like a young woman who was constantly neglected and like the lesser of two sisters, and her other sister always got everything she wanted, and then this one sister had to do like all of the housework. And then there was this like werewolf that was in town that she kept noticing her. It was just weird. It felt like it was kind of a retelling, but not. I don't know. Just weird. Then I read A Dark and Drowning Tide. Loved this, by Alison Saft. This was a fantastical story about a young woman who, I forget which, folklorist, that's what it is. She's a folklorist, and she goes on this expedition where she and her crew have to try to find like this main source of all magic in this world. And there's also a sapphic romance, which is fantastic, and it's just a good time. I managed to slog my way through The Courting of Bristol Keats, and my God, it took forever. This book was rough. It has its positives, it has its negatives. Overall, it was just, oh my God, I'm so glad it's over. And I read The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore by Laurie Gilmore. If you've read the Love Light Farm series, this has very similar vibes. It takes place in a little small town. It has a really tight-knit community. There's all these cute little stores and small businesses, and there's this tight-knit group of friends, and each of these books in this series kind of focuses on a different friend and their romance story. So this one, I think honestly, this is like the second or third in the series, but they don't need to be read in order. So I've read this one because this one caught my eye and the ebook was discounted, and I had a great time. Then I plan to read in March A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed, Business Casual by B.K. Borison. I plan to get back to and finish reading Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And then might be reading The Bone Season and Gilgamesh, we shall see, and really hoping to read Out of the Woods and First Time Caller. So it was a busy month. It will be a busy month. Now let's chat some movies. I didn't watch as many movies in February as I usually do in the month, which, I don't know, I was reading a lot, I guess. I watched Groundhog Day on Groundhog Day, which was a blast. It is my annual tradition, and I love it. I also Cordially Invited, which is the new, Reese Witherspoon, and what's that guy's name who I hate? Oh my God, I can see his face, but I can't remember his name, which is fine. I did not like this movie at all. I thought it was terrible. Oh my God. And I saw My Fault London later that month, and I loved that one. I really had a great time. So that's really saying something about Cordially Invited, I'm telling you. I also watched the latest Bridget Jones movie, which honestly, they did a great job. Like, they did such a great job just continuing this story in such a considerate way, and like continuing to tell this woman's life, and it just made sense. It wasn't weird. I was afraid it would be weird, but it wasn't. It was great. I also watched Captain America. It was fine. They did some interesting things. I think they really focused on a little bit more the fact that this Captain America is obviously going through different life experiences than the Chris Evans, Steve Rogers Captain America was. They focus a little bit on race relations and what he kind of is going through as a Black Captain America. Not as much as you would hope, but honestly more than I was expecting, so that was a pleasant surprise. The whole plot of it is ridiculous though, and you need to have seen like 5 different Marvel movies to even understand what's happening. So, I mean, that's just, it did some good things, it did some other things not at all, but you know, it is what it is. Paddington in Peru was lovely, although more stressful than I would have liked. I'm Still Here is one of the best films I have seen in possibly the last 10 years. Fernando Torres did an amazing job. Oh my goodness. Honora, equally fantastic. Well, maybe not equally. I'm Still Here was phenomenal. Honora was amazing. And then I watched Boot Camp, which, yikes. So those were all of the movies that I watched. Some standouts that I'm really excited about for March is Queen of the Ring and Rule Breakers. So excited for those two. Also looking forward to Mickey 17, which I've already seen at the filming of this video. Don't worry about it. It was really good. Then also kind of excited about Opus and Picture This and Black Bag. And I included some others that are coming out on streaming. But yeah, so those were all of the things that I enjoyed. Let me know what book or movie you enjoyed in this past month and what you're really looking forward to this next month. And thank you so much for watching. If you watched this far, please leave a pen or pencil emoji or write the word pencil, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!